it may still feel like summer, but spring break is still ahead for some school districts like Putnam County, and many religious schools won't take their break until Easter. But whatever the reason, if you're vacation in Miami Beach through mid-April, you should be aware of some special rules that are in effect. With the increase in crowds for spring break season, Miami Beach issued an ordinance to try to maintain a safer environment. Many question how effective this effort will be, but they are definitely handing out citations. WFT's Alex Chigroni explains how this issue affects Miami beachgoers.
I spoke with Miami officials who say there's only so much they can do to keep the ordinance in effect, but they are doing everything they can to ensure safety for tourists on the beach. Spring break is a time for teachers and students to get some sun, have some fun, and de-stress from the spring semester. However, down in South Florida in Miami Beach, police are making sure to take the proper precautions to ensure safety on the crowded beaches.
And now we're 2 weeks into what we have as what we've designated as our spring break period. We've made just about 30 arrests. So that's actually indicative of a pretty successful spring break period so far, given that we have thousands and thousands of visitors on our beaches at any given time.
At the end of January, the Miami Beach City Manager Jimmy Morales implemented an ordinance to address this issue. This ordinance prohibits coolers, any inflatable devices, tents, tables, amplified music, and alcohol on the beach.
So I think the law has good intent, but I don't know how easy it is to enforce it, just because the amount of people here and the cop manpower to the amount of people on spring break. So I don't know how useful the law will be, but I think it has good intent. You know, a lot of people get hurt and sick and whatnot drinking on the beach.
Even though this ordinance is currently active, spring breakers don't seem to pay it any mind.
Usually they're not going to bring the bottles out, they're just going to put it in another container, which makes it even harder to enforce it.
As you can see behind me, the cops are close by, but for a specific reason. That is because that not all access to the beach is open. As you can see from these signs, 5th Street, 6th Street, 8th Street, 9th Street, and 10th Street are open, but 7th Street is closed until April.
The Miami Beach Police Department can only do so much to control the overwhelming amount of people on the beach. But this didn't stop the police from patrolling the streets of the beach or the waterfront.
It's not like it's a law they just made specially for spring breaker. I think for spring breaker, the chief of police is trying to control and to bring a safe environment, so maybe by limited alcohol consumption within public area that can help to actually make everybody safer.
The question is, even though this ordinance is implemented for the time being, how can these beachgoers still get away with breaking the law?
It can be sometimes a little overwhelming, but that's why we've made this plan the way we have, so we have officers at strategic points to ensure that everyone has indeed a good and safe time.
The answer is beyond the Miami Beach Police Department's control. With spring breakers swarming the beach left and right, it is almost impossible to make sure the ordinance is followed.
I would just not invest too much resources into trying to enforce the law, because I don't know how that's going to work out.
However, Miami Beach Police doesn't want this ordinance to stop vacationers from coming to the Sunshine State.
Our message to folks isn't to not come to Miami Beach. In fact, it's the opposite. We want people to come to Miami Beach. We're ready for the large crowds. We just want everyone to come out and have a good time safely and responsibly. You don't want to make a poor choice that can affect the rest of your life.
If you plan on visiting Miami Beach anytime soon, the ordinance will still be in place, but it will be active until April 16th.